Yo, what's cracking, Panther Nation? It's your boy Rashad, one half of PNP, and today we are here to break down whether we should re-sign or let Bradley Bozeman walk, okay? This is the Sign or Walk series, the third entry into the series. If you have not already seen them, I got a playlist that is going to show you all of the Sign or Walk series, all the new additions. So keep watching that thing, subscribe to it, and stay tuned to what we have coming up next into the Sign or Walk series. I think we have about 12 or so free agents. I'm not sure if we're gonna break them all down, but be sure you're watching that playlist just to keep track of what we're doing, okay? Now, before we get into it, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell, get in the comments, all that good stuff. We're trying to get to 20,000 subscribers. The count is going up. Let's keep grinding. Let's keep pounding that like button, keep pounding that subscribe button, and let's get to 20,000 subscribers before the draft. Let's make that thing happen, all right? Let's go ahead and get into Sign or Walk, Bradley Bozeman. Now, if you're new to this channel, or if you're new to this series, we break it down by production, age, position value, injury history, asking price, and whether his production is replaceable or not. That's how we structure this thing, and that's how we're going to determine whether or not we should re-sign or let Bradley Bozeman walk. Let's get into the production. All right, taking a look at his 2022-2023 production. Again, really difficult to do for offensive linemen, but we're going to try our best. We took the Pro Football Focus grades, 63 overall, 53 pass blocking grade, and 67.3 run blocking grade. Okay, look at the pressures allowed, 2 sacks allowed all season, 1 hit, 9 QB hurries, and then 2 penalties. Only 2 penalties all season, which is great. And then you can take a look at his snaps. Now, what's interesting about his situation, when you take a look back at the season, this man didn't get a chance to start until Pat Eflin went down with injury. All right, we're not going to talk about that other guy, the other coach we had, but he did this man a disservice, okay? This man came, signed with the Carolina Panthers for a dirt cheap deal. I think it was like a $1 million deal. I mean, it's crazy how, there was essentially almost no market for Bradley Bozeman. Coming from the Ravens, I thought there would be a heavy market for him, but obviously people aren't looking at that Ravens scenario and like, oh, they got Lamar Jackson out there running around. They don't know if he could truly block or if it's Lamar Jackson creating those opportunities. Now, that being said, he got the opportunity to come here on a cheap deal, and now here we are. He's about to get paid, whether it's from us or somebody else. He's about to get a bag because, again, he had a good season. All right, so let's move on. So, with that said, the production, again, we checked that box. We have no problem with the production. Had a really good season, and he will build on to that moving forward. Now, as far as his age, no problem with his age. 28 years old. He's in his prime right now. And, centers can play a little bit longer. I think he can go until probably about 34, 35, depending on his health. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But, yeah, I think Bradley Bozeman's age right now is fine. No problem with his age at all. Position of value, critical. That center position is critical. It's the first step to the quarterback, right? You got to snap the football. If that snap isn't right, if you have a bad center, you're gonna have a long game. If you're having snap issues, it's terrible. So the center is almost. I mean, people talk about the left tackle being the most valuable position on the offensive line and the most important position on offensive line. But that center got to be a close. Or the blind side. It could be the left or the right, depending if your quarterback is left or right-handed. But the blind side of the quarterback they say that's the most important position on the offensive line. But I'd argue that the center is either a 1A or 1B or a close second. Because that center, that position, if it's going bad, you're going to have a long day. All right, let's get into injury history. Now, not much of injury history for Bozeman. I think he had like a hamstring issue early in the season, which caused him to miss some games. But nothing major. Soft tissue injuries happen. It is what it is. Bounce back. He's all good. So played the majority of the season. Have no problems with the injury history, and there's no major injuries in his history at all. So injuries are fine. Solid injury history. Asking price. Here's where the rubber hits the road. How much is Bradley Bozeman commanding on the open market? Well, according to Spot Track, they say $12 million, which I think is about right. Now, let me say this because a lot of people don't understand how contracts work. This is why I'm here to break this down. Just because you have a $12 million average annual salary does not mean you're getting paid $12 million per year, okay? Now keep this in mind, the grand scope. We always have to keep the grand scope in mind. Remember, when I was playing around with the calculator, I got us to around 40 million available cap space, okay? That's dope. Probably could get more than that depending on who we extend, but $40 million was about where I had us. That being said, we're not just going to take 12 million and subtract that. No, it depends on how the contract is front loaded or back loaded. Typically in the NFL, contracts are back loaded. Now there are some folks that do front load contracts, which might be a better strategy depending on how the future's set up. But if you're backloading contracts, I can give you an example. Bozeman, we can structure his contract to where the first year of his deal is only about $5 million. All right, and then the rest of it's backloaded throughout the rest of the contract. So they're saying a 3-year deal that would make him around 31 of the next 31 or 32 when he gets his next contract. I would say make this his last big contract and stretch it out to about 5 years. That would make him 33 or 33 by the time his next contract comes around. So I would make this his last contract and just give him a 5-year deal personally. If you make it 12 million per year, I'm cool with that. But the more years you have on the contract, the more you can backload it, right? So I think you can stretch that money out, and I think Bozeman should be a long-term part of this offensive line. And again, if you lock him in now, the money that you're paying him year over year is going to look minute as long as the salary cap continues to increase. So I like this $12 million. I have no problem giving this man a $12 million deal. Again, they have a 3-year deal, $36 million. I have no problem with that at all. That's something I would do in a heartbeat, and I'm pretty sure he's looking for a rather large payday coming up soon. So make it happen by any means necessary. Make that deal happen. $12 million a year. I have no problem with that. Because again, look at the grand scope, right? You've got Bradley Bozeman, who you're about to pay. You already paid Taylor Moton. You've got your left tackle on a rookie deal. You got your left guard on a rookie deal in Christensen, and you got your right guard Austin Corbett, who just took a contract that's not a big contract. I think he didn't pay like $6-7 million per year. It's not a huge deal. So you have to pay to play when it comes to the offensive line. This offensive line has done a great job. Let's continue it. Let's keep that continuity and keep these guys together. All right, so asking price, again, a little word of caution, just depending on how you structure that deal. Don't go overboard, but yeah, let's make him a priority and get him back however possible. All right. Now, is his production replaceable? I would say that no, you can't just replace him like that. Finding a center is not easy. Finding a good center is not easy. We haven't had a good one here since Ryan Khalil. So I think you need a good center. If you have one, then you got to keep him around. Okay. With all that in mind, I think this is an easy sign. You have to sign Bradley Bozeman. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that he can be franchise tagged, and the franchise tag number for center is $18.14 million. Now, I don't expect us to actually franchise tag him. I do think we need to get a deal done. I don't want to pay him $18 million for 1 year. That just doesn't make any sense. The franchise tag, even if you were to franchise tag him, the goal of the franchise tag is to give you more time to work out a long-term deal. It's not ideal, and no player essentially wants to play on a franchise tag because it's nobody wants to do that. They want the long-term money. They want to make sure they get their long-term needs taken care of. So that's what the long-term contract does. So I don't envision us using the franchise tag on Bradley Bozeman, but it is an option just in case you cannot come to an agreement. Also, I did not talk about this, but one reason why I do want to keep Bradley Bozeman around is because of his work in the community. They've got the Bradley and Nikki Bozeman Foundation. That's where they do some of the sink snacks. They do a lot of good work in the community. I've seen them floating around on Twitter. They do a lot of good stuff, and it's good when you have guys that actually contribute and give back to the community in a positive way. So again, I love the fact that Bradley Bozeman and his family are ingrained in the Charlotte area community, and I appreciate that. So I think it's dope, and re-sign Bradley Bozeman at all costs. Now, with that said, again, we have got to figure out how to keep this offensive line together. They're going to do nothing but get better and better and better. The more years that they play together, the chemistry is going to continue to grow. They had a good year. We went from like the worst offensive line in the league, in the 30s somewhere, to now PFF ranks us as 15. That's a big jump. That's a big jump, and they're going to do nothing but get better and better and better. So keep this line together. Camping is around, so they want to keep that offensive line together. They're showing that they want to keep these guys together. So it's going to be interesting to see what this deal comes out to be. Whatever it takes to get it done, I think we have the cap space to get it. We can create the cap space to keep Bradley Bozeman around. And whatever it takes, get it done. Shout out to Bradley Bozeman. Re-sign Bradley Bozeman. That being said, hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell, get in the comments, all that stuff. I'm out. Peace.